There was no explosion, no shockwave, no jet streaking through the sky. Yet deep beneath the Iranian desert, in a fortified nuclear facility sealed from the outside world, machines suddenly began to scream. Centrifuges spun faster than they were designed to. Metal vibrated dangerously. Rotors shook themselves apart. And all of it happened without a single alarm, without a single guard noticing anything unusual. It was as if the facility had been possessed, as though an invisible hand had reached inside and twisted the machinery from the inside out. No intruder was seen. No breach was detected. But something was there, something built not from steel or fire, but from lines of code, a weapon with no face, no sound, no footprint. This was Stuxnet, the ghost weapon that quietly rewrote the rules of warfare and ignited the world's first cyber war. The story truly begins in June 2010, when a small Belarusian cybersecurity firm received a report from a client complaining about strange computer crashes. At first, the analysts suspected a routine malware infection. But when Sergei Ulasin, one of their senior researchers, opened the mysterious file, he realized he was staring at something far more advanced. The code was unbelievably complex. It used multiple zero-day exploits, vulnerabilities so new that even Microsoft had never heard of them. These were the kind of tools only governments possessed. The worm hid inside the system with precision. It used stolen digital certificates to appear legitimate. It spread silently but intelligently, avoiding detection like a ghost slipping through walls. Researchers worldwide quickly noticed the same thing. This was no ordinary virus. This was a weapon. But the strange part was that Stuxnet didn't steal money. It didn't erase data. It didn't spy. It seemed to do absolutely nothing to normal computers. It was a sleeper agent, waiting for a specific target. To understand that target, we must go back to the early 2000s, when Iran's nuclear program was accelerating faster than Western intelligence agencies expected. At the center of it all was the Natanz facility, a vast underground complex protected by concrete, steel, and elite security. Inside were thousands of gas centrifuges spinning at dizzying speeds, enriching uranium. These machines were fragile, sensitive, and crucial to Iran's nuclear ambitions. And every nation watching knew that if Iran successfully enriched enough material, the geopolitical balance of the Middle East could change overnight. Military options were discussed in hushed rooms in Washington and Tel Aviv. Airstrikes were considered. But attacking Natanz posed immense risks: massive retaliation, humanitarian fallout, global condemnation. The world was already balancing at a razor's edge. So intelligence planners considered something new. Something quiet. Something that would leave no crater, no smoke, no trace. What if they could sabotage Iran's nuclear program from the inside, without ever stepping foot inside the country? Thus began one of the most secretive joint operations in modern history, a collaboration between American intelligence agencies and Israeli cyber specialists. Their mission: design a weapon capable of slipping into Natanz, taking control of its centrifuges, and destroying them so subtly that Iran wouldn't even realize it was under attack. But there was a problem. Natanz was air-gapped, completely cut off from the internet. No remote hacking was possible. The only way in was through human movement. So the architects of Stuxnet developed a plan that seemed almost laughably simple: infect USB drives, allow them to spread across Iran, and patiently wait for someone, a contractor, an engineer, a technician, to unknowingly carry the virus into Natanz. And that is exactly what happened. Once inside, Stuxnet woke up. It studied its environment. It checked the configuration of the Siemens Step 7 controllers that regulated the centrifuges. If the system didn't match Natanz's exact setup, the worm went dormant and remained harmless. But Natanz was the perfect match. Stuxnet then executed its mission with chilling precision. It manipulated the centrifuge speeds, pushing them beyond safe limits, but only for short bursts so that operators wouldn't notice. Then it returned everything to normal, while playing back fake, pre-recorded data to the engineers monitoring the systems. The screens showed smooth operation, even as the machines screamed and tore themselves apart. This was sabotage at the molecular level, invisible, undetectable, devastating. Between 2009 and 2010, roughly 1/5 of Iran's centrifuges were destroyed. Engineers were baffled. Machines they had maintained for years suddenly malfunctioned. Experts blamed manufacturing defects. Some blamed operators. No one suspected a digital enemy had slipped in and executed one of the most precise acts of espionage in history. Meanwhile, Stuxnet continued to spread in the outside world. Its creators likely intended for it to remain inside Natanz forever, silent and hidden. But a coding error allowed the worm to escape the facility and begin infecting computers globally. It didn't activate on normal systems, but it did attract attention, especially from cybersecurity researchers, who wondered why a virus this sophisticated existed at all. When analysts finally mapped out the full structure of Stuxnet, they were stunned. It was almost 20 times more complex than any known malware. It was modular, adaptable, and engineered with the discipline and precision of a military-grade operation. The level of resources required, the intelligence, the testing facilities, the industrial knowledge pointed unmistakably to state actors. Though never officially confirmed, evidence overwhelmingly suggested a joint American-Israeli operation, codenamed Operation Olympic Games. Its goal had been simple: delay Iran's nuclear program without triggering war. But Stuxnet did more than that. It opened Pandora's box. For the first time ever, a cyber weapon caused physical destruction in the real world. It proved that code could be as deadly as bombs. It showed that nations could sabotage each other silently, without borders, without soldiers, without accountability. And other nations took notice. Iran, humiliated and furious, rapidly expanded its cyber capabilities. Within years, Iranian hackers launched major attacks on American banks, Saudi energy companies, and regional rivals. Nations around the world raced to build their own offensive cyber units. The battlefield was no longer land, sea, or air. It was the glowing screen of a computer. Stuxnet didn't just delay a nuclear program, it reshaped global warfare. It signaled the dawn of a new era where battles would be fought in shadows, where weapons would be invisible, and where a few lines of code could cause catastrophes, once possible only through missiles or bombs. Today, the legacy of Stuxnet haunts us still. Power grids, water facilities, factories, hospitals, all are vulnerable to attacks far more advanced than the one that tore apart the centrifuges of Natanz. Cyber warfare has become a quiet arms race, invisible to the public, yet capable of bringing nations to their knees. And it all began with a ghost weapon, a silent infiltrator that changed everything. Now the question is yours. Was Stuxnet a necessary act that prevented war, or the reckless spark that unleashed a new kind of global danger? Let me know what you think. Your answer might reveal which side of history you stand on.